Imagine your orders are simple. Hold the line. But the line is just a crumbling parapet of ferrocrete and faith overlooking an abyss of pure madness. Before you, chittering, multi-limbed nightmares, hulking, green-skinned brutes, the things that nightmares have nightmares about. Behind you, 1,000 men with trembling hands, clutching lasguns they barely believe in. They don't fear the enemy half as much as they fear the despair that chokes the very stars. And your job is not to fight the enemy. It's to fight that. You are the Emperor's shadow, the living embodiment of duty, the last voice a coward hears before they die. Welcome to the most terrifying job in the 41st millennium, the life of an Imperial Commissar. To understand the Commissar, you have to understand the wound that created them. That wound was the Horus heresy. Before the heresy, the Imperium was built on ambition and secular idealism, enlightenment through strength, reason through unity. The Imperial army was a triumphant force of conquest, its soldiers fighting with the conviction of a manifest destiny. Loyalty, it was believed, was the natural state of a rational human. Then Horus, the favored son, turned. Half the Space Marine legions followed him. Entire regiments of the army betrayed terror, their purpose corrupted. Billions of humans proved that loyalty was not a given. It was a weakness to be exploited. The heresy was a psychological cataclysm. In its aftermath, the Imperium learned a brutal, permanent truth. Humanity could not be trusted, not even the Emperor's own sons. So the reforms began. The Imperial army was split into the Astra Militarum and the Imperial Navy. No single commander could ever again hold that much power. But there was a deeper problem still. The human heart. The answer was a new institution, the Officio Prefectus. Its agents, the Commissars, were to become the guardians of loyalty, the enforcers of morale, the executioners of weakness. Commissars are not promoted. They are forged in the brutal academies of the scholar progenium. These institutions take the orphans of imperial servants, children whose parents died in the emperor's name. Their old names are stripped away, replaced by those of saints and heroes. Their identities are scoured clean through relentless indoctrination and at times even chemical alteration. They are rebuilt with only 3 pillars: duty, obedience, and faith. Drill abbots beat the soul into iron. Pain is an illusion. Fear is heresy. Mercy is treason. The curriculum is a merciless forge designed to hammer all weakness into dust. This is the production line for the Imperium's most loyal agents: Tempestus Scions, Sisters of Battle, and Commissars. Men and women alike walk this path, each forged to be an icon of unyielding control. From this crucible, only the most fanatically loyal are chosen. They must possess an intimidating presence, tactical intelligence, and absolute faith. They become cadet commissars, deployed to the front lines to be trained and tested in the unforgiving laboratory of live war zones. Here, they learn to lead, to kill, to judge, and to carry out a sentence with a single bolt round to the back of a helmet. But for all their training, all their doctrine, a commissar's true test doesn't come in the classroom. It comes when they are the only thing standing between collapse and courage. The commissar exists outside the traditional chain of command. They answer not to a regimental colonel or a lord general, but only to the departmental munitorum, and through it to the emperor himself. Their authority is absolute. They can overrule a general. They can execute a colonel. They can summarily end the life of any retreating guardsman with their bolt pistol. Not to punish, but to inspire, because in the 41st millennium, inspiration is a currency paid in fear. Summary execution for cowardice is their most infamous tool, but it is just one instrument in an arsenal of terror and unyielding will. They are both shepherd and wolf, confessor and executioner, bound to the soldiers they lead, but never one of them. By design, they are an outsider, often from a different world than their regiment, ensuring they remain objective and untainted by local loyalties. They do not fight the enemy. They fight doubt. And in the darkness of the far future, doubt is more dangerous than any demon. To truly understand the role, we must look at its 3 faces: the icon, the commander, and the fraud. The icon, Commissar Yarrick. Sebastian Yarrick was just a man, but war turned him into a myth. During the Second War for Armageddon, he was an old commissar facing retirement when the largest Orc War in sector history crashed down upon the world. Banished to lead a doomed defense at Hades' hive. He stood directly in the path of the Orc Warmaster, Gazikul Thraka. He lost an arm in the brutal fighting. After killing the Orc warboss who took it, he had the creature's massive power claw grafted onto his own stump. Because in war, symbols matter more than flesh. He became Old Baali. The Orcs, whose collective psychic energy can warp reality, began to believe he was unkillable, so he leaned into their terror, replacing his damaged eye with a bionic one that could fire a laser. He became their bogeyman. But legends are prisons. Yarrick could never rest. He could never show doubt. He had to be the unflinching hero 24 hours a day, because the enemy and his own men needed him to be. Even when Gazikul captured him, the warlord let him go, declaring, "Good enemies are hard to find." Yarrick became essential to the myth of war itself, a prisoner in a cage built from his own reputation. The commander, Ibram Gaunt. Gaunt was different, a colonel commissar, both soldier and executioner, leader and judge, born on the world of Manzipur and later posted to Tanith. Tanith fell to chaos. He made an impossible choice, to save the few thousand soldiers he could and abandon the dying planet. He founded the Tanith First and Only, a regiment with no home. They became known as Gaunt's Ghosts. To them, he wasn't just a leader, he was home. He was the living keeper of their entire culture. But Gaunt walked a knife's edge between the loyalty demanded of him and the compassion he felt for his men. He earned his soldiers' trust with empathy, a trait the Imperium itself mistrusted as a weakness in a commissar. His struggle wasn't just on the battlefield, it was in command briefings, in dark corridors, in the suspicious eyes of rival officers and commissars who feared he cared too much. The terror of Gaunt's life was the constant choice between the man he wanted to be and the commissar he was expected to be, with every casualty chipping away at his soul. The fraud, Ciaphas Cain. Lastly, we have Cain. By his own private admission, he is a coward, a fraud. All he truly wants is a quiet post and a stiff drink. But every time he tries to escape the front lines, every time he schemes for a safe assignment, fate throws him into hell. A quiet ice world is invaded by orcs. The academy he teaches at is infiltrated by a gene stealer cult. His desperate attempts to save his own skin are consistently misinterpreted as tactical genius. His self-serving actions are lauded as supreme bravery. His aide, the psychically null Gunnar Jurgen, saves him time and time again, often without Cain even realizing it. The galaxy doesn't see the coward. It sees Ciaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium. Cain's terror is unique. He lives in constant gnawing fear of being found out. The fear that one day someone will see through the legend and find the terrified man underneath. A commissar is not just a man or a woman, they are a symbol, a living icon of the Imperium's unbending will. The black greatcoat, the peaked cap, the bolt pistol, the unblinking stare, they exist to terrify, to inspire, to remind every soldier in the ranks that the Imperium is always watching. But that same symbol isolates them. They are forbidden from the bonds of camaraderie that keep a soldier sane. They cannot show doubt. They cannot rest. They are, by design, utterly alone. So, what makes the commissar's life the most terrifying in the Imperium? It's not the xenos, it's not the traitors, it's not the demons. Every soldier faces those. It's the crushing weight of expectation. They must be perfect icons of strength. They must be feared by all. They must never, ever break. They are often hated by the men they lead, and watched with suspicion by the commanders they serve alongside. Their job is not just to survive, it's to ensure that everyone else dies the right way. They are not heroes. They are tools, forged in pain, rebuilt for purpose, and deployed until death finally, mercifully, claims them. No reward, no peace, just a name in a casualty report, and the silent hope that their terrifying sacrifice meant something. So the next time you hear a guardsman whisper, "The commissar is watching," remember what it truly means. This is the commissar, the unflinching gaze, the Emperor's shadow, alone, unloved and utterly necessary, the most terrifying job in the 41st millennium. If you found this descent into the grim darkness of the 41st millennium enlightening, be sure to execute the like button and subscribe for more transmissions from the front lines. Let us know in the comments which part of the Imperium's terrifying machine you want us to declassify next. For the Emperor,